Hey, reach up there and pull those belts tight. One more time, you're watching the original Rebels Racing League.
Welcome everybody to Homestead Miami Speedway. My name is Josh Hall. This is the original Rebels Racing League Outlaw Series. Practice is underway right now. We're getting ready for some great racing. We saw some great racing at the LA Coliseum. In real life, these guys are going to be just as hard on the equipment tonight as those boys were on TV. And at the top of the board right now, we've got Adam Lang in that 8 machine. Currently your fastest driver in practice, and Logan Monteith back in second. Daniel Stewart, Fry Hubbard, and Tyler Barnett back in the top 5. Let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. We see Adam Lang at the top of the points. Steve Loving, Andy Kurtz, Travis Bieber, and Jamie Mullins, your top 5, actually tied for 5th. Brandon Pollock back there as well. And 7th, Daniel Stewart. 8th is Ryan Derrick. Eddie Smith back in, also tied for 8th. And then 10th, you have Eric Burkhalter. So a couple tied positions through the field. You see a tight battle back there all the way through the field. So take a look to see where your favorite driver is in the points. So we have just a few minutes left in practice, about 2.5 minutes here left in practice. We do want to thank you for coming out and joining us here on Intensity Broadcasting tonight. Whether you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, we do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't want to forget to always thank our great league sponsors that help out here. Hardline Transport Solutions is the main sponsor in memory of Matthew Mann. Then you've got Dang Lang Racing Designs, Smeal Racing Designs, Shibu Inu Crypto, Peg Leg Felts, P&J Motorsports, Evil Empire Sim Sport, Thunderstruck Super Series, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Smeal Racing Designs, BK Motorsports, and Salbuski Window Tinting, all coming on board to help out and get this series underway. And Homestead's a fun track to run. You've got a lot of different options here. You're going to see guys running all the way up against the wall. You're going to see guys running all the way down on the apron, and everywhere's in between. So a lot of options here as we see Lang right there near that wall, not quite up against it just yet, but right there up against the wall where you want to be. I know personally, I thought last time I was running this track, I'd be right up there like we see Fry Hubbard right now, up against the wall, ripping the wall. And I found that myself running the bottom of the line was a little quicker for me. So it all depends on your driving style and how you want to attack this track. And great looking ride that Fry Hubbard has right there. So Brandon Pollock out on track as well. Not quite as high up the track as Fry Hubbard and Adam Lang were, but still run a little bit of a higher line. Oh, getting a little loose there, as it's really easy to do, especially running that higher lane. And one of the reasons why you might see some of these guys run this little higher lane, as we see Matt Kleeman come off of pit road, is right as these guys are exiting turn number 2, there's a really big bump in the transition there, and that really upsets the car. And I apologize, it looks like I didn't have this Twitch stream on, but we got that up and running now. See Matt Kleeman out there turning some laps. Logan Monteith up into the second position as practice finishes up here. And we get ready for racing here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Again, thanks for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Do appreciate you joining in and tuning in tonight for the truck doubleheader. Right after this, we'll have the Original Rebels Sunday night series right after this, so stick around for that. As we see Logan Monteith make his way out on track to take his first of 2 laps here at Homestead, Miami. Oh, gets really loose up on that high side. As I said, it's really easy to do there. This track is extremely slick, especially on cold tires. So it takes a couple laps for these tires to really get up to pressure and work their way in. As you see now, Monteith down to the low line through turns 1 and 2. And right here, coming off the corner, is a little bump that can really upset the trucks. We'll be watching for that all night long, as that tends to be a bit of a trouble spot coming off of turn number 2. And even though the track is pretty much symmetrical, turns 1 and 2 run so much differently than turns 3 and 4, as now Logan Monteith up into the 3rd position. Comes off of turn number 2. Down the long backstretch. And I know as a driver getting into turn number 3, that's always the most difficult turn for me to get into. I feel like I can get through turns 1 and 2 very well, but when you get down to that other side of the track for whatever reason, it's like a totally different track, as Monteith jumps up to the top of the board, then gets bumped down by Tyler Barnett and Adam Lang. So Adam Lang up to the current pole. See Steve Loving out on track. Currently up into the 8th spot after his first lap. Let's see if he's able to improve on his second lap here. Down the backstretch, Loving comes down into turns 3 and 4. Looked like Loving was running that higher lane, which you see him kind of run in the middle of the track here. Homestead does have progressive banking, which means the top of the track has a little more banking than the bottom side of the track, so that's why you see a lot of these guys jumping up to that high side, even though it's the longer way around. There's more banking up there, so it gives you a little more opportunity for some grip, as we see Steve McDonald taking the green flag on his first of 2 laps. Run that higher lane through turns 1 and 2. Right up on that seam. Going to be just above that bump coming off of turn number 2 to get the good run down the backstretch. Into turns 3 and 4. Adam Lang still at the top of the chart, as you can see. Steve McDonald on his first lap is going to move up into the 20th position. Down through turns 3 and 4 and onto the front stretch. And it looks like McDonald is going to improve his time up into the 9th position. Fry Hubbard on track. We saw him ripping the rim up on that high line before. He's trying to stay up there in qualifying. Comes across the line for his first of 2 laps. Fry's only going to be up to the 21st position. Now he's going to work his way down to the bottom for this qualifying lap, all the way down to that white line. Comes off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Back down to the bottom through turns 3 and 4. And as he makes his way down the front stretch into the stripe, see where Fry Hubbard moves himself up to. And he's going to jump all the way up to pole. So a big jump running from the bottom to the top here, as we see The 15 of Greg Froelich out on track. Froelich coming to take the green flag, start his first of 2 laps. As Froelich makes his way off of turn number 2. Again, we'll see a lot of these drivers throughout the race. Right now in qualifying, you can really run whatever lane you want. But as the race goes on, we'll see these drivers start up on the high side. And as tires wear off, we might see some drivers migrate down to the bottom. We might see as the rubber builds up on the track, these drivers start on the bottom and then migrate up to the high side as the tires heat up. So a lot of options here at Homestead, Miami. And we'll see all of them used here tonight. As Froelich makes his way through turns 3 and 4. Currently in the 24th position. Let's see if he's able to improve his time this second time by. Across the stripe, and Froelich is going to move up into... Nope, he's going to stay right where he's at. So the only driver left to qualify is the 09 of Daniel Stewart. And Daniel Stewart's going to move up into the 6th position. So a nice clean race last week. So we're not going to have any EOLs this week. As we take a look here at our starting grid in just a moment. We've got about 2.5 minutes left before they grid up. So again, we want to thank all of our league sponsors that make this possible. Hardline Transport Solutions, in memory of Matthew Mann, Dang Lang Racing Designs, Smeel Racing Designs, Shibu Crypto, Peg Leg Felts, P&J Motorsports, Evil Empire SimSport, Thunderstruck Super Series, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Smeel Racing Designs, BK Motorsports, and Salbuski Window Tinting. Also, don't forget to check out the Original Rebels official website at ORRleague.com. That's ORRleague.com. I did leave a link down in the description below, so you can check that out for all your standings, stats, and any news you want to find on the Original Racing Rebels League. Original Rebels Racing League, excuse me, at all of their series, whether it's the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, the 87 Series, all that information is right there, so check that out, ORRleague.com. And while we're talking about .coms, I got to plug our own. Don't forget to check out IntensityBroadcasting.com, where you can find all your favorite league apparel right there at your fingertips, from shirts, the t-shirts, the hats, the coffee mugs, the stickers, and mouse pads. Of course, everybody's favorite, if you remember Joe Wright here, we've got the infamous Truck Cars t-shirt, as well as you can find any of your league apparel as well. So any Original Rebels Racing League apparel, t-shirts, stickers, bumper stickers. So check it out. That's IntensityBroadcasting.com. And for all stats, standings, and any league information, you can also find that information at simracerhub.com. That's simracerhub.com for all iRacing league standings, stats, and information. So check that out as well. So we got about 30 seconds left here in qualifying. And, you know, this is going to be a tough race for a lot of these drivers. Homestead's a fast track. It's very aerodynamic dependent, and we might see some drivers having a little bit of trouble trying to make passes here tonight. So we're going to have to watch for that for sure. And then things happen fast here. A lot of times these trucks are almost wide open all the way around the track. So you might see a couple drivers get in some trouble that's none of their doing. So keep an eye out for that as well as we get ready to look at your starting grid here. Of course, your starting grid is brought to you by BK Motorsports. And tonight, sitting on that peg leg pole award, Fry Hubbard in the 14 with Adam Lang to his outside. In the second position, Tyler Barnett and Jonah Colbert, they'll make up row number 2 with the 91 of Logan Monteith and Daniel Stewart rounding out row number 3. Michael Kosick rolling off in the 7th spot with Jamie Mullins to his outside in spot 8. Then Brett Bieber and Eric Burkhalter will round out your top 10. 11th belongs to Ryan Huff with Steve McDonald to his outside in the 12th position. 13th, Matt Kleeman and Charlie Gates Jr. in 14th. And back in row 8, you'll find Brandon Pollock and Michael Swink. Greg Barnett and Andy Kurtz round out row number 9. Back in row 10, we'll find Steve Loving and Phil the Hitman Manzo. Chris McLean, he'll be rolling off 21st with Travis Beaver in 22nd. Mike Bertosa Jr. and Greg Froelich, 23rd and 24th. And finally, rounding out the rest of the field, Jerry LaGrange and Corey Bragg. As the field makes their way through turns 3 and 4. We get ready to approach the starting zone. Pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Homestead, in a great jump for Adam Lang on that high side, able to stay side by side with Fry Hubbard as they make their way through turns 1 and 2 for the first time. We know Hubbard was very fast on that low side, where Adam Lang tended to stay on that high side. We already have 3 wide racing as we come down the backstretch, back down the 2 wide. And Tyler Barnett looking to make a move here to the inside. The 8 of Adam Lang. Lang almost gets up into the wall. That's going to allow Colbert to pull right up on his back bumper as they come across the line for the first time. Fry Hubbard is going to lead the first lap here. We've got a side-by-side battle for second. Here's Tyler Barnett and Adam Lang are still going at it side-by-side. Looks like Jerry LeGrand had some issues on the front stretch. No caution, though, as he's able to get it rolling. And now Adam Lang crossing over the 84 Tyler Barnett to retake the second position. See, we can quickly take a look to see what happened to LeGrand here as he was looking to the inside. Oh, make some contact with Bertosa Jr. and able to get it locked down below the yellow or white line there. So off the racing surface, which means there will be no caution. So we got some side-by-side racing here. The 808 of Brett Bieber looking down to the inside of Ryan Huff. And this is a battle for 10th position, as Bieber's going to have to tuck in behind Huff. Up front, Adam Lang getting challenged back on the outside by Tyler Barnett. Now here comes the 91 of Monteith, looking down to the low side of Barnett, trying to take that position away as he gets the run down off of turn number 4. And trying to outdrive him here into turns 1 and 2 down on that low side. And already we're seeing multiple different lines as they make their way off of turn number 2. Some drivers choose to be right down on the bottom. Some drivers right up against the wall. Some drivers kind of run in the middle of the track. So As the race goes on, we'll see these drivers move all over the racetrack as they battle again for second position. Barnett up into second, getting a little push now from Monteith. As I say that, Monteith jumps up to the high side behind Adam Lang. Up front, these two run side by side. Then the rest of the field pretty much single file throughout the field. And as the tires start to wear off, we'll see these drivers move all over the place. Fry Hubbard now up to a second lead over Barnett. As Lang looks down, back down to the bottom. So these two drivers continuing just to cross each other over and battle for position. And as they do that, it's just allowing Fry Hubbard to pull away. As here comes Monteith, looking to make it 3 wide for a second, but tucks back in line. A little further back, we've got a battle here between Michael Kosick and Daniel Stewart. Stewart down on that low lane, trying to make something happen here. The battle for 6th and 7th. As now Monteith has joined this battle, and he's looking up to the high side of, oh! Now he's going to cross over Lang as they make their way down into turns 1 and 2. A moment there. And right behind him, Jonah Colbert trying to make his way into the mix here as well. So Adam Lang's going to slide back into the 4th position, as now he's under attack from the 34 of Jonah Colbert. So Lang might have hurt his tires here racing early in the run. And that 8 machine continues to slide backwards. And the 8 line should just kind of ride in line here. You know, it doesn't make sense to push too hard this early in the race. Hurting those tires this early in the race can get you back in traffic, and that's not where you want to be as the race goes on. Daniel Stewart looking up to the high side now, as Michael Kosick's gotten back around. And just behind him, Jamie Mullins coming into the picture. One driver making some big moves through the track right now, through the field right now, is the 05 of Chris McLean, working around the 19 of Matt Kleeman. And if he gets around Kleeman, he will improve 10 spots from where he started tonight. So a good run early for McLean as he works himself up to the front. Another battle between Kosick and Stewart. These two continue to go at it side by side. You see just how that progressive banking allows that driver on the high side to get the really good run off the corner. Then able to recross over as they get down the straightaway, but now they're going to be side by side as Stewart has a really good run up there on the high side. So we ride along here with Kosick. Gives you a good idea of what these drivers are seeing. Here's that bump I was talking about right off turn number 2. Able to hold on to it though and continue to make ground up on the 09 of Stewart. Up a little further, Jonah Colbert trying to take the third position away from Tyler Barnett. As Tyler gets the good run off the corner, but here comes Colbert. Oh, Barnett up into the wall. Saw the sparks flying. That's going to hurt his momentum and possibly hurt that truck. We'll have to look here as he comes down the front stretch to see how bad the damage is on that truck. Doesn't look like too much damage. A little crinkle on the right front fender. But besides that, looks like the truck is in okay condition. That's a risk that you take running that hard up against the wall. So that's going to move Jonah Colbert up in the third position as he's going to set his sights on the 91 of Monteith. Great view off the nose of the 31. Or sorry, 34. So he gets around Monteith and sets his sights on Fry Hubbard, whose lead is now starting to shrink. Last time by, even though Colbert was making a pass, he was 0.2 of a second faster than Hubbard was that lap. So we take a look at the gap between Hubbard and Colbert. It's decreasing quickly. As you can see, those lap times. Hubbard quite a bit slower. That's allowing Colbert just to make up some time, and for the next couple laps, he'll be right on that back bumper. A little further back, we got a side-by-side battle between Daniel Stewart and Michael Kosick. This battle's still going on. Feels like this battle's been going on since the drop of the green flag, and next time by we'll be working lap number 20 of 100. And look at this, Jonah Colbert is there looking down to the inside of Fry Hubbard as they come down the front stretch. First time Hubbard's had a battle for the lead, and Colbert's going to easily take that position away. So move Jonah up to the point. Now it's looking like the field is starting to stretch out a little bit. We see a little battle shaping up here between Steve McDonald and Chris McLean. McLean again up 10 spots from where he started, up into the 11th position. As McLean's looking down to the inside of Ryan Huff, trying to take away that 10th position. He's going to tuck back in line though, not going to be able to make that move just yet. There you go, move McLean up into the top 10. As we got a battle heating up here between Adam Lang and Fry Hubbard and Logan Monteith in the mix as well. So 3 cars all battling for the second position. As right behind him we see the side-by-side battle still going on. Actually, no, this is now between Monteith and Kosick. So Kosick now moving himself up into the 4th position around Logan Monteith. So Michael Kosick showing some speed late in the run. As Fry Hubbard has a mirror full of Adam Lang. Lang making the big move down to the high side, but just not able to get the run off the corner. See if he's able to use the draft here in the big run. Try to get around Hubbard here. Now he's going to look up to the down to the low side this time. He's going to get right on around the 14 of Hubbard. Hubbard, though, thinking about crossing him over here into turn number 3. Lang able to get that good run, though. Now he's going to set his sights on Jonah Colbert. Ryan Huff and Andy Kurtz going at it a little further back. Kurtz, last year's champion, looking down to the bottom. It's a battle for the 13th position, so Huff in a backward slide right now as Kurtz gets right around. Now Huff battles back on the high side. Well, he's going to be no match for Kurtz, as Kurtz is going to be able to get that good run off the corner. Oh, a little slide there out of both trucks. Will move Kurtz up into the 13th position. Fry Hubbard now has a mirror full of Michael Kosick. A couple drivers hitting pit road. Mike Protosa Jr. just hit pit road. Michael Swink also was on pit road recently. So a couple drivers maybe trying to make this a 3-stop race. Hitting on laps 25, 50, and 75. Steve McDonald now looking down to the inside of the 84 of Tyler Barnett. So Barnett continues to slide backwards. He's running up front most of the race and continues a backward slide back into the 11th position. Well, it looks like maybe getting into the wall definitely damaged that 84 machine as he's continuing his backward slide. Daniel Stewart now all over the back bumper of Fry Hubbard. Hubbard, who was so strong in the first part of this run, continuing to slide back. See the 66 of Jamie Mullins now. He's trying to look down to the inside of Daniel Stewart. As we see, Michael Kosick has moved up to second. And then pulling away by a mile here is the 34 of Colbert. So you can see here from the blimp just how far this gap really is. As we zoom out, try to find the 3 of Kosick. And there he is. So that's what almost 3 seconds looks like on the racetrack. And then behind the gaggle of cars, as we see Daniel Stewart trying to get around Fry Hubbard. So great views here from the iRacing blimp. Jamie Mullins trying to battle in this pack as well, trying to move himself forward. He's looking to the outside of Fry Hubbard. Trying to take away that 5th position. Looks like Mullins got a little loose there coming off of turn number 4, though. Here comes Daniel Stewart down to the inside of Adam Lang at the same time. And Mullins is going to make that move around Fry Hubbard, put Mullins up into the 5th position. We see Fry Hubbard trying to get back to the back bumper, but just not able to do it. A couple cars on pit road. Jerry LeGrand on pit road. As Jamie Mullins moves up the 4th around Adam Lang. I imagine we might start seeing some green flag pit stops in the next 5 or so laps. As right now, Jonah Colbert is just pulling away from the rest of the field. Chris McLean has now moved up 12 spots, broken the top 10 up into the 9th position. And he's continuing to march forward. We'll battle back here between Travis Bieber and Tyler Barnett. Bieber is going to move himself up into the 13th position as Tyler Barnett in that 84 continues to slide backwards. And tough break for him. He was running so strong up front. Falling all the way back into the 14th position. We got a couple other drivers hitting pit road. Greg Froelich has hit pit road. See, Jonah Colbert has just Jonah Colbert has just gotten around as the 28. Jerry LeGrand, who's trying to get his lap back here. Or one of his laps back. He's a couple laps down. Name I haven't talked about at all tonight, Eric Burkhalter. Making his way, currently running in the 7th position. He's working to the inside, or trying to get around Fry Hubbard here. So Fry Hubbard, after starting on pole, continues to slide backwards. He's fallen back to the 7th position. Monteith and Steve McDonald battling side by side. So Monteith back into the 10th position. Moved McDonald up into the 9th position. So a good clean pass there as these drivers are really starting to struggle on these tires. And I know as a driver, this part of the race, this part of the run, you're crying for new tires. Matt Kleeman now down on the pit road. As Jonah Colbert continues to lead and continues to pull away from Michael Kosick, it's now almost 3 seconds the gap between 1st and 2nd. And you'll notice, sounds like Jonah Colbert may be shutting the truck off, trying to save a little bit of fuel. Let's ride along here. Sure is. Hear that? He shuts that truck all the way off, trying to save as much fuel as he can. While he's doing this, he's actually pulling away from Michael Kosick behind, but you hear as he enters the corner, shutting that thing off, trying to save as much fuel as he can, trying to stretch this fuel run as far as he can, and maybe trying to make it on just one stop. So an interesting strategy out of the 34 here. I'll have to see if it pays off for him. We'll have to see if Kosick's saving any fuel here as well. As we ride around to Kosick, you hear him rolling off the throttle, but not shutting it down. It doesn't seem like he's trying to save it all. It sounds like he's still running pretty much full bore. So we'll take you through the field. We got Joe Colbert in first, Michael Kosick in second, Daniel Stewart running back in the third position, Jamie Mullins back in fourth, up 4 positions from where he started. They did find Eric Burkhalter in the 5th spot. Burkhalter started 10th, currently up to 5th. A little further behind him, we'll find the 8 of Adam Lang. Bry Hubbard, your pole sitter, currently back in the 7th position. And Chris McLean driving all the way up 13 positions to this point, up into 8th with Steve McDonald and Andy Kurtz, who started 18th, up into the 10th position. Logan Monteith slides back into 11th. Steve Loving up into the 12th position. And you'll find Travis Bieber battling with the 43 of Bertosa Jr., who is currently a lap down. And then Phil the Hitman Manzo sitting back in the 14th position. And all the way back in 15th, that's where we'll find the 1 of Brandon Pollock. See the 18 of Michael Swink going around. He is a lap down. Then you'll go back to Ryan Huff in the 73 machine, running back in 16th. Charlie Gates Jr. in the 55, rolling back in 17th. That's Fry Hubbard. Just hit pit road. And Brett Bieber back in 19th. And in 20th, Tyler Barnett. And looks like we had Jerry LeGrand have some issues here on track. Let's see if we can see what happened to LeGrand. Looks like he... not really sure what happened to him. It looks like he just pulled off the track. So still, we stay caution free as Jonah Colbert has gotten around the 808 of Brett Bieber to put the 18th place 1 lap down. Jamie Mullins has caught Daniel Stewart. Let's try to take over that 3rd position. So Fry Hubbard, one of your first leaders to hit pit road. We should check with Jonah Colbert here, see if he is still shutting this thing off as he makes his way through the corners. He sure is. So while that engine is off or that clutch is in, it's not burning any gas. That's why he's able to continue on and continue to push. And I believe, like I said, he might be trying to make it to lap 50 before pitting. Up. Daniel Stewart side by side with Jamie Mullins. Jamie down to the bottom and move Mullins up into the 3rd position. Another battle starting to shape up back here. Steve McDonald and Chris McLean. As they're also running up onto the back bumper of the 8 of Adam Lang. Ryan Huff now on pit road, getting his service done. See McLean looking down to the inside of Adam Lang. Here comes the 14 of Fry Hubbard. Now, Fry is a lap down, but he is on fresh tires, so you're seeing just what the difference fresh tires make, as Hubbard easily gets around these drivers here and continues to march his way forward. Well, Adam Lang now hits pit road along with Steve Loving. So 2 more drivers hitting pit road. Steve McDonald has Andy Kurtz looking up to the high side. And Kurtz getting around as Jonah Colbert now has come down to pit road. There you have it. Just like I said, coming stretch it to lap 50. Michael Kosick also down on pit road. Daniel Stewart, Jamie Mullins, Eric Burkhalter, Chris McLean, Steve McDonald. So all these drivers coming down on the pit road. See the one of Brandon Pollock coming off pit road. There's Charlie Gates Jr. coming off pit road as well. Andy Kurtz is going to take over the lead as we try to see who gets off of pit road first. Here comes Jonah Colbert with a huge lead. Now Andy Kurtz down on the pit road. Travis Bieber, Logan Monteith, Phil the Hitman Manzo. We see Brett Bieber on pit road as well. So that's going to give the lead back to Fry Hubbard. But even though it's really not going to help him too much because Jonah Colbert is right there behind. Jonah got on and off of pit road so well, he's got almost a 4-second lead over what is now 3rd place Michael Kosick. As you see that interval starting to decrease. Now I wonder if Colbert's going to start to save fuel like he did last time when that fuel-saving mode comes into effect. Steve McDonald side by side with Greg Froelich. This is for 11th and 12th. Daniel Stewart and Tyler Barnett battling again side by side. It looks like Barnett got that damage fixed that time by. He took his reset. So he's got a fresh truck and he's currently running back in the 5th position. Fry Hubbard has a mirror full of Jonah Colbert. Jonah's going to look down to the inside. He's going to be no match for Fry Hubbard on those fresh tires. Joe's going to slide right up in front and retake the lead here at Homestead, Miami. It's always nice to hear these trucks in full song. So here's a little segment we like to call Pump Up the Intensity. Back up front, Jonah Colbert continues to lead by a second over Fry Hubbard. Brandon Wall says, needs mercy cautions. Jonah Colbert taking them to school, and Jonah is. He's just driving away as we see Mike Verhosa Jr. hit pit road. And actually, I want to ride along with Colbert again, seeing if he's starting to shut it off again or if he's staying full out as he's looking to the back bumper of Phil, the Hitman Manzo. Shutting it all the way off already, saving as much fuel as he can. Great view from the helmet of the 34 machine, and you'll watch that tachometer just completely turn all the way off as he's got that car, as that truck, completely shut off. Trying to save as much fuel as possible. I know some of the guys in the next race are probably watching this, trying to learn something. Even though he's shutting it off the way he is, he's still running some of the fastest laps on track. Last time by, ran a 33.79. Michael Kosick ran a 33.67. Daniel Stewart ran a 33.82. So even though he's shutting it off in the corner, he's still able to maintain a great pace here at Homestead, Miami. As we're working lap 62 out of 100. No cautions in the race so far. Been clean the whole way through. Gee, Jonah Colbert getting around. That's the 38 of Greg Barnett. Andy Kurtz here, though, in a battle. He's got Chris McLean in front of him. And Steve McDonald. Oh, Steve McDonald makes a wild move there. Just splitting the 05 and the 5. Now McDonald trying to get around the 05 of Chris McLean. And this is a battle for the 9th position. And right there, last year's champion Andy Kurtz right there in the mix. Trying to make his way through this as well. And just behind him, you have the 27 of Steve Loving. So quite a few trucks right here, all in a mix here. Battling for 9th, 10th, and 11th. As here comes Kurtz onto the back bumper of McLean. And at the same time, they're starting to catch Jamie Mullins a little bit. One driver who's in a little bit of trouble right now is Fry Hubbard. We know he pit last on lap number... Sorry about that. He pit last on lap number 44. So without a caution, I don't believe the 14 machine will be able to make it to the end, where both Jonah Colbert and Michael Kosick both pitted on lap number 50. See Kosick slowly starting to reel in the 14. Both these drivers running the low side, trying to save as much fuel as they can, as we see Kosick looking down to the inside of Fry Hubbard, trying to take this position away, and he's easily going to take it. That's going to move Michael Kosick up into the second position. And that little speck that you see out in front of him, Well, that's actually not Jonah Colbert. Jonah Colbert looks to be over 4 seconds ahead. As we continue to hear Jonah Colbert shut that truck off. And 4 seconds is that truck that's just coming off of turn number 2 now. See Jonah Colbert, though, shutting off the truck, working through lap traffic. That's impressive. A lot of people don't understand how hard it is to drive a truck while you're shutting it off and trying to navigate lap traffic. When you shut the truck off, the engine's not slowing the truck down. So it has a different feel to it as it makes its way through the corners, as you see him getting around the 19 of Matt Kleeman. So the balance of the truck changes when you're shutting it off like that. It's amazing that not just is he able to maintain pace, but outpace the field while doing it. You look at the lap times between Jonah Colbert and Michael Kosick. Jonah's running significantly faster. Not significantly, but a decent amount faster. Last time by actually went a little bit faster, 0.2, while shutting it off and navigating lap traffic. That to me is just, unless you're a driver in these trucks and understands how hard that is to do, it's pretty incredible. Kevin Kinder says, go Colbert in the chat. Kevin, it's good to see you. Tune in a little early here tonight as we get ready for our second race. Kicking off at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, you're not going to want to miss that. That is the Original Rebels Sunday Night Truck Series brought to you by Whole Heat and Sheet Metal. Right now we have the Hardline Transport Solutions Outlaw Series still going at it, as we have just about 25 laps to go. We're working lap 72 of 100. So we're getting close to that 25 to go mark. And again, Jonah Colbert just putting on a clinic here tonight. Saving fuel, shutting the truck off, and continuing to pull away. A little further back, we got a little battle heating up here between Travis Bieber and Tyler Barnett. This is a battle for 12th and 13th, as it looks like Bieber has just gotten around Barnett to move Bieber up into the 12th spot, and he is pulling away from the 84 machine. Andy Kurt's in trouble. He's got the 68 of Steve McDonald looking up to his high side. Number of cautions, Kevin, we have had 0. 0 cautions tonight. That's why Jonah Colbert's up at the front of the racetrack, or up at the front of the field, trying to save as much fuel as he can, shutting that truck off into the corners to try to save as much fuel as he possibly can. Steve McDonald's going to look down to the inside of last year's champion, Andy Kurtz. Not able to complete that pass as that high side still has that good momentum off the corner. McDonald's going to try to make another move here. Throws it back down to the bottom. This time Kurtz is going to throw a little block. Take that line away as they make their way off of turn number 2. Just in front, Jamie Mullins, Chris McLean have a little battle going on back here. This is for 7th and 8th. And McLean just a little bit quicker. Run that little bit of a higher line. Oh, McLean gets up into the wall. That's going to break his momentum a little bit. And then we have Daniel Stewart and Fry Hubbard back here. We see the lap truck of Greg Froelich and the lap truck of Matt Kleeman coming into play here. Jonah Colbert's going to come across the line this time. We're going to have just 25 laps to go here at Homestead, Miami. And again, Jonah Colbert continues to save as much fuel as he can. Fry Hubbard, though, has to come down the pit road, so Hubbard will be out of this unless a caution comes out and he's able to get back up towards the front, but move Hubbard all the way back currently to the 15th position. And that's why you've heard all race long Jonah Colbert shutting the truck off into the corner, saving as much fuel as he can. Isn't going to be enough to get him to the end. Right now he's got a 4-second lead over Michael Kosick. Kosick currently working around the 38. That is Greg Barnett, 1 lap down. And Barnett is actually the first car 1 lap down, so if we did get a caution right now, that 38 would be your lucky dog. Although Phil the Hitman Manzo sees Jonah coming in his mirror. Take a look at the back bumper of Manzo. And Manzo currently is the last truck on the lead lap. Oh, I take that back. Manzo has been lapped. Brandon Pollock has been lapped. So now Charlie Gates Jr. is the last car on the lead lap. And that's Jonah Colbert just behind him as they're making their way down the backstretch. Adam Lang and Eric Burkhalter having a little battle here. Burkhalter, again, really haven't talked too much about him except for when he's been making passes. And he's moved himself now up into the 4th position. But he's got a long ways to go to catch Daniel Stewart, who's currently 5.5 seconds ahead of him. And they've been pretty much running the same lap times. As you see Fry Hubbard coming through here on the fresh tires. And you really see what fresh tires can do here at Homestead, Miami. So Hubbard's going to look right down to the bottom. Easily drive on by the 71. Travis Bieber looking to the outside. Steve Loving as they come off of turn number 2. And as the race has gone on, we've seen that high lane being a little bit better on the long run, as Bieber is going to easily get around the 27, move Bieber up into the top 10. And we have just 20 laps to go. Adam Lang again with a mirror full of the 66 of Jamie Mullins. Mullins going to take a look down to the inside. He's going to get that position as we see Chris McLean now trying to get underneath Lang as well. Trying to slide Lang back into the 7th position. Again, we have just 19 laps to go. We've gone 80 laps without a caution. Can we keep it clean to the end? Can Jonah Colbert save enough fuel to make it to the end? You see Adam Lang has the 19 of Kleeman coming through. Kleeman is a lap down on a little bit fresher tires. So he's going to easily be able to get on by, and McLean right behind trying to take advantage of the 19's momentum, trying to use that to get underneath the 8 here. They make their way into turns 3 and 4. And McLean trying to take that position. He will take that position away from Adam Lang. So move McLean up into the 6th position as he sets his sights on Jamie Mullins. Right now, up front, it's all about the 34 of Jonah Colbert. As you see, Greg Froelich on fresher tires trying to get around him on the outside. He'll be able to easily get that lap back. So put Fronick down just one lap. Jonah, excuse me, Jonah just doing everything he can to keep that truck out in front and pretty much on cruise control with just 15 laps to go. How about Chris McLean up 15 spots from where we started here tonight? As he's trying to chase down Jamie Mullins, move himself up into the 5th position. And we'll only have a moment break in the action here. I want to throw out one of our little awards here. I definitely want to give a shout out to the 14 of Fry Hubbard. That truck with the chrome and the black and definitely getting my attention tonight. Going to give that one the Smeel Racing Best Paint Award here tonight. So look at that truck right there. We have just 12 laps to go. Again, Jonah Colbert still out front. Still pulling away from the 3 of Michael Kosick, as Kosick has cut into that lead just a little bit. Bring it to 3 seconds. But I don't think Kosick is saving the fuel quite as much as Jonah Colbert is. We take a listen to Kosick, who's off the throttle but still allowing the engine to slow the truck down. Jump on board with Colbert. Bill shutting that truck off. So Jonah really saving fuel, trying to save as much. I think he's got plenty to make it to the end as he comes off of turn number 4. We're going to have just 10 laps to go here at Homestead, Miami. And once Jonah Colbert got out in front here tonight, he was just smooth sailing and gone. Started back in the 4th position. Made his way to the front. And it just put on a clinic here at Homestead, Miami. See Fry Hubbard on those fresh tires getting around him. Again, don't forget to join us here after this one's over, as the Original Rebels Truck Series Sunday Night Trucks will be the second part of our truck doubleheader here on Intensity Broadcasting. If you joined us on Friday night for the Xfinity Series, it was a wild finish there. We'll have to see if we can get another wild finish here with a lot of the same drivers who were in that race in the Sunday Night Truck Series. And of course, don't forget about the league website. That's the Original Rebels official website at ORRleague.com. You can find a link down in the description below That'll take you there for all your stats, news, updates, standings. Find it all there on ORRLeague.com. And for all your points, standings, and stats, don't forget to check out Sim Racer Hub. That's simracerhub.com, where you can find not just this league, but most of the leagues that we have here on Intensity Broadcasting. Upload their points there, so don't forget to check that out as well. As Jonah Colbert still saving fuel. A little battle going back here between Adam Lang and Andy Kurtz. Kurtz taking a look down to the inside, trying to take that position away. So move Kurtz up into the 7th position. And for Jonah Colbert, it's just smooth sailing here as he's coming across down the front stretch to take 5 laps to go. And fortunately for him, it doesn't look like there's really any battles on track right now. So the last thing he wants to see at this point is a caution. We've already gone 95 laps caution free. So all he's hoping for is to stay out there and clean and make sure that no lap traffic gets up involved in him as well. We see a little battle back here now. Adam Lang continuing to slide backwards. Steve Loving looking down to the inside. So Loving's going to slide Adam Lang back into the 9th position. And we see right behind him the 68 of Steve McDonald. McDonald's been a little bit faster than Lang as well. Can Lang hold on for a few more laps to stay in the top 10? Michael Kosick has cut down into Jonah Colbert's lead. It's now 2.5 seconds. But with just 3 laps to go, I don't think it's going to be enough time. Unless we get, like I said, a really late race caution here. Logan Monteith and Travis Bieber going at it right now. This is for 11th and 12th. And move Monteith up into the 11th position, trying to crack the top 10. Steve McDonald has caught Adam Lang with just 2 laps to go. Is Lang going to be able to hold off the charging 68 machine of McDonald? Jonah Colbert's coming off of turn number 4. White flag is out here at Homestead, Miami. It's just going to be 4 smooth corners for Jonah Colbert to get the win here tonight. Steve McDonald has gotten around Adam Lang and moved Lang back into that 10th position. And Adam Lang having some issues now. He's just falling back even further. Just fell back to 12th. As Jonah Colbert comes off of turn number 4. Checker flags in the air. Jonah Colbert is your winner here tonight. Michael Kosick's going to cross the line in second. Daniel Stewart coming home third. Eric Burkhalter off of turn number 4. He'll come home 4th. And Chris McLean up 16 spots tonight, getting the Hard Charger Award up into the 5th position. Whoop, I thought I hit the button, but I did not hit the button. So there you have it. Your hard charger tonight is the 05 of Chris McLean. Again, that hard charger award is brought to you by Evil Empire SimSport. But it's not about that. It's about Jonah Colbert, our winner, burning it down on the front stretch. Save enough fuel to get a couple of donuts in before getting plowed right on cue by the 44 of Phil the Hitman Manzo. And Burkhalter with a hard hit to the 34 as well. So let's take a look at the results. Full results here is, again, Jonah Colbert comes home with the win. Michael Kosick, Daniel Stewart, Eric Burkhalter, and Chris McLean make up your top 5. 6th, Jamie Mullins. 7th, Andy Kurtz. Steve Loving comes home in 8th. Steve McDonald in the 9th spot. And Logan Monteith back in 10th. 11th, we'll find Travis Bieber with 12th, belonging to Fry Hubbard. Adam Lang falls back to 13th. Charlie Gates Jr. and Phil Manzo make up your top 15. Then Tyler Barnett, Ryan Huff, Greg Barnett, Greg Fronick, and Brandon Pollock, your top 20. 21st, Matt Kleeman. 22nd, Brett Bieber. Mike Bertosa Jr., he comes home 23rd with Corey Bragg, Michael Swink, and Jerry LeGrand, rounding out the rest of the field. Don't know why that lap history was still up there. I do apologize for that, but that's going to round out your field there. Let's get ready to talk to your top 3 with our post-race interviews brought to you by the Thunderstruck Super Series. Let's bring in Daniel Stewart. Daniel, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, great job tonight, coming home in 3rd. A lot of battling. You seem to pass a lot of the same cars over and over tonight, but able to get up into the 3rd place. And at the beginning of the race, had a really hard battle there with, I believe it was Eric Lang there at the beginning. Was that kind of the idea, was to run as hard as you can that first stint to try to get the track position for the end, or was it just the way the cards fell for you here tonight?
I was just sitting back. Wasn't trying to go too hard. I was just letting off early, trail breaking in, and they just kind of came to me there.
For sure. And tires and fuel seem to be the strategy here tonight. How much fuel did you have in the tank there when you got to the end?
About a lap left. I could have done a burnout if I had won.
Well, again, great job here coming home in the 3rd spot here tonight. And anybody you want to thank, any shout outs you got to give here tonight before we let you go?
I got to shout out my dad's, my spotter, my crew chief. He was telling me all the fuel mileage things. I might have panicked and pitted on lap 20 if it wasn't for him. And then I got my grandfather and grandmother there watching. Appreciate them watching every week. And then got to thank you guys there at Intensity Broadcasting. You guys do a great job, especially you, man. You rock it. And then Hardline Transport Solutions, Dang Lang Racing Designs, Smule Racing Designs, and Shibu Inu Crypto. Buy and hold that crypto, and it's a good lottery ticket for you.
For sure. We'll be checking that out for sure. And again, congrats on the 3rd place finish. I'm sure as the season goes on, we'll talk to you again soon.
Sir, thank you.
So that was your 3rd place finisher, Daniel Stewart. Let's bring in our 2nd place finisher here tonight, Michael Kosick. Mike, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Man, great job here tonight. Coming home in 2nd. It looked like Jonah was just the class of the field tonight. And but there at the end, you were starting to run him down. He was saving fuel pretty hard there throughout the run. Were you saving there at all, or were you just trying to run as hard as you can, trying to catch him?
Yeah, I was trying to save fuel a little earlier in the run, so near the end I had a little bit more to give, but he was just too far out.
Yeah, and coming through the field, I know you started only making up 5 spots, but it looked like a hard battled 5 spots as at one part of the race, you and I believe it was the 09 were just battling back and forth for about 10 or 15 laps there in that first run. Were you trying to battle hard at the beginning, or were you really just want to settle in there at the beginning in case it turned into a fuel mileage race like it did?
I wasn't trying to battle too hard, but I was still trying to just keep track position, figuring when tires went out. I just trying to save some stuff up, but yeah, it seemed like we were stuck together there for a while. He would get a run off the high side, and then I would. It was just back and forth.
And were you expecting this one to go as green flag to flag like it did?
I didn't expect it to go all green, but I figured there wasn't going to be many cautions, especially after we didn't have many at Bristol last week.
Yeah, great job for the entire league, able to get a clean race in. And before we let you go, Mike, anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, thank Hardline Transport Solutions for sponsoring the league. Dang Lang Racing, Smil Race Designs, Shiba Inu, you guys for always broadcasting. You do a great job. And Mike Swink and all the other admins for everything they do.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the runner up position. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon as the season goes on.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.
Here you have your second place finisher, Michael Kosick. Let's bring in the man of the hour, your winner here tonight, driver of the 34, Jonah Colbert. Jonah, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, how's it going?
Man, putting on a clinic out there tonight. And the first question I have to ask you is, would you have about 5 gallons left in the tank? Because I heard you shutting it off almost from the get-go of that second run.
I had a gallon left doing my burnout, so I had enough for about 4 or 5 more laps, I think. I was just playing it safe the whole way. I was just kind of managing my gap there with Michael. I was watching the relative, and every time I'd see that relative creep down a little bit, I'd push a little bit harder, but then I'd back it off a little bit. If he got within a second, I was really going to turn on the jets, but I just didn't want to risk running out if there was a green white checkers. So
Yeah, especially because nobody would expect this one to go green flag from start to finish and turn into a fuel mileage race. When did you realize it may turn into a fuel mileage race?
about lap 38 or 40, somewhere around there, because I was just saving tires behind everybody early in the race. You may have seen me just kind of running back there in fifth or so. I wasn't really pushing the issue. And I had no idea it was a fuel mileage race because I didn't do any like long run practice. And then I started looking at my fuel mileage. I'm like, well, this is going to be interesting. So I guess that first run really benefited me from saving tires because I wasn't using a ton of fuel and I was just drafting with people. And I was running like 3/4 throttle down the straightaways when I was behind people. So that helped a lot for sure. And then once I realized, hey, we got to make it to lap 50, I started clutching. And then from there, I just clutched the rest of the way. So
Yeah, and I was trying to explain on the broadcast that's not easy to do. Driving with the clutch, not letting the car slow down with the engine, that actually changes the balance. Did it did it really feel awkward at first, and did it kind of come to you as the race went on?
yeah, it's really difficult initially because, like you said, you're used to the engine slowing the car down. You're not using very much brake at all. And then once you start clutching it, you lose all that slowing momentum from the engine, so you're having to use a little bit more brake, which actually puts a lot more pressure on that right front. And I noticed that in the second run compared to the first run. At the end of the first run, my truck was still lightning fast. I felt like I could have just hammered down at any time. But in the second run, with about 5 laps to go, I turned on the heat a little bit, try to see if I could speed up, and it was really, really tight. I had burned that right front up from relying on the brakes so much versus the engine. So you could definitely notice it.
Well, there you have it. I'm sure a couple of the guys in the second race tonight may have been taking a little bit of notes there. But before we let you go, anybody got a shout out? Any thanks you got to give here tonight?
I appreciate the Tennessee Broadcasting for broadcasting this race. You do a great job every week. I enjoy watching these broadcasts and look forward to watching the Rebels race and see how they handle the fuel mileage thing. Shout out to all the drivers tonight because, man, everybody put together just such a clean race. This series is probably the most improved out of this whole league, and that's saying a lot because we've got a lot of good drivers in this league. But to go caution free at a track like this with how loose it was early in the race, man, that's impressive. And shout out to Michael Kostek for his podium. He ran a really fast race, kind of kept me on my heels there all night. It was very enjoyable. And then thanks to commissioners Matt Kleeman and Michael Swink for putting up with all the scoobers every week. It's a lot of fun in here.
Yeah, but the next race has Garrett Kinder in it. Do you think it's really going to go green flag all the way?
It depends on how long that right rear lasts.
There you have it. Again, Jonah,
So.
if anybody was watching the Friday night race, he was burning that right rear off all night long. But again,
he knows no other way, man. He knows no other way.
That's true. It's that throttle pedal for him is an on-off switch. We know. But but again, congratulations, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you, Josh.
So there you have it. Your winner tonight, Jonah Colbert, getting the win here at Homestead, Miami. Again, we want to thank everybody who turned into Intensely Broadcasting tonight for the Original Rebels Racing League Outlaw Series on iRacing. Again, don't forget, if you haven't already, like, follow, and subscribe, whether you're watching on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch. It really does help us out. Don't forget to check us out at Twitter at IntensityBroad1. Don't forget to check out our web store at intensitybroadcasting.com, and don't forget to check out the league website. That's ORRleague.com. Both links are located down below in the description, so check them both out. Again, we'll be back here in about a half hour's time as we get ready for the second race of the doubleheader here on Intensity Broadcasting. So until then, as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over